Hello again, welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. So today I'm just gonna talk about changes. So we all know changes. It's about you moving from a different place to another place. It can be emotionally, you moving from a different state to another state. It can be physically, it can be anything. So changes are happening like emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritual. So I'm just gonna talk about it. And I know a lot of us don't like changes because we can be so much married to our own routine. We don't like anything that is new sometimes, even though it has a, even though it's a good change, sometimes we actually like don't like it. And I sometimes struggle with changes, especially the bad changes, because change can come in a good way, can come in a bad way, and you need to adapt whether you are in it or not. But eventually, you will be required to adapt to the changes. So, I feel like there is actually like a huge changes that are gonna happen to a lot of us, whether it's a bad one or good one. So, like I had like 5 days of my life that I just like, what the fuck just happened? Because the changes were too much and so much was happening, and it was not a good changes. I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the most awful changes, but at the same time, I felt like I was in a movie. It was like I am in a movie, and I was like, okay, fine. But you know what? We are meant to experience everything to be a phase. I know it's like we like to dwelling on one thing that actually make us feel good, or maybe we experience good in it, which is okay. But if it does not allow you to grow, it does not allow you to be better, it does not allow you to just be a good change, you shouldn't stay longer in that thing. So I know it can be triggering to tell you that everything is a phase, especially when you are going through it and you don't like whatever that is actually happening, you don't like how the situation is going about. But everything is a phase. Just think about it. You were in a phase where before the storm, obviously when like uh the good times over and then experience the storm, you're not gonna like it. You're gonna reminisce about the fact that, oh, this, I wish this happened. Oh, I wish I can go back. I wish, like, you always are missing that, and which is not a good thing. It's not a good thing to reminisce. That's why I've realized when I was actually not allowing myself to be present, I realized I missed out a lot. I was the person who constantly like, oh, I wish I was present when this happened. I wish I was this. I was serious. I was that. I wish I was this and that. During that time, when I actually realized I was not present, I remember like most of the things happening from 2018 to 2020. I was not present. Like, I was always anxious. I was always go person. I was a person who get triggered a lot with being present. And not only that, I would think I was operating from the mindset that I need to do something in order to determine my worth, because most of the time we tend to define our worth with external things when we don't love ourselves, and when we have to move from that phase to another phase whereby we love ourselves without defining ourselves with things that are actually happening that we achieve, or stop at determine our worth with things that we achieve. I know that achieving something boosts your confidence. I do agree with that, but it's not supposed to be like, oh, okay, I achieved this, now I'm supposed to feel confident. I was the person who was happy, where like I wouldn't allow myself to be happy. I would be the person who think about the fact that if I achieve this, I will be happy. When whatever happens, and then whatever, when I achieve something, and then I won't be present. Like I will think about the fact that I need to achieve another thing. Like I wouldn't allow myself to be present. I was constantly anxious. I was constantly thinking about other things. I remember there was even a time where I was actually invited to a gathering. When I was invited to the gathering, I was thinking about the things that I was supposed to be doing and then being here, I was not present whatsoever. So changes, it's a good thing when you experience them when you're present rather than you um putting yourself in a situation where you're not present, because everything is a phase. Everything is a fucking phase. Like a lot of people don't understand that we are here temporarily. Sometimes they have to experience a terrible car accident to be realized, no, I am not present in my life. I am not living. I am just existing. I need to make some changes. They don't understand the fact that everything is a fucking phase. Like it's a phase. Some they need to have a very threatening disease, probably like you find out that they're diagnosed with cancer and now they're not gonna live any time longer, and then they'll be like, oh, I regret not doing this and this and this and this and that. Some they assume that it's the same thing where people assume like, oh, probably I love her, but I'm not gonna confess yet because you believe that nobody's gonna confess and then she won't move on. Like, do you know those people that are like constantly putting everything off for the fact that uh they still have time, I still have time, I still have this, I still have that. Sometimes, yeah, making that confession, it can be like, can very much be something that you fear, because obviously you don't know how other person gonna respond, beside the fact that you are into it or interested, and then the next thing you realize they're not interested. But I believe in the fact that you never know until you try. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. Rejection is part of life. You're gonna experience a lot of rejection. You're gonna experience a lot of rejection, and rejection is not bad as you think. It's just not bad as you think, until you realize that you being rejected in a certain situation, it's gonna put you in a phase where you're gonna be like, okay, this happened, okay, it's make me sad, I'm hurt by the situation, but then eventually you're gonna realize all along it was you wanting something that you don't need. Sometimes you think you want this something and then you realize you don't need it, but sometimes the rejection is because you're not doing enough, or maybe it's not yet your time for you to be recognizing whatever that you want to be recognized. Maybe it's not a time yet or whatever. When I'm saying you're not good enough, I'm not saying you're not good enough. Probably like you are not ready, and in terms of like putting effort in doing everything that you want to do. So obviously that take a lot of time, and a lot of changes needed to happen in order for you to have that things to happen. So changes are something that we go through every day. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I might have like a huge plan. Okay, tomorrow is gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna happen the way I want it to happen. It's gonna happen the way God wanted to happen, ancestors wanted to happen, but I'm just open. Like it's okay to be open to changes. It's kind of like painful, but it's okay. So yeah, changes are our everyday life. It can be changes, you changing um a routine probably you used to walk or used to travel in that direction, the next thing traveling to another direction, you realize, oh wow, that's actually a nice place. Oh wow, there's actually a house there. Oh, this is good. Like changes are actually good. Some are eventually they need a lot. Like you need a lot of time to adjust, and don't feel bad about you being in the same situation for too long, even though you wanted to move or you wanted to live in that situation. It can be any situation that you're actually in and you feel like they're not happening sooner enough, because you like there's nothing about us labeling ourselves so much with the fact that we feel like we've been in it for too long and no changes are actually happening. and you feel like discouraged by it or whatsoever. But the thing is, what I've realized about life and about myself is the fact that we are constantly being prepared. We are constantly being prepared for the changes. Literally, a lot of changes are happening for us. They're not happening for like they're happening for you. They may not make sense why they're happening, but they're happening for you. There's a reason why there's actually a delay. You might be not recognize it, but we will recognize it later. Okay, that's why it didn't happen sooner. Why the changes didn't happen sooner. Why would this and that didn't happen sooner. Or why those changes happen. Why I have to adapt to the fact that my wife just passed away. My husband just passed away. Why do I have to adapt to the fact that divorce happened? Because sometimes some people, for example, when the divorce happened, some they're not even aware that their married was that much bad, to the fact that their sponsor actually now offering now their sponsor now is actually wanting a divorce. Sometimes we'll be like, I didn't realize that it was that bad. I didn't realize the fact that um my husband was that unhappy or my wife was that unhappy to the fact that they finally filed for divorce. I didn't realize that our relationship won't work anymore. Like it's not working for both of us. It's just stagnant. Some people will be so shocked. That's why a lot of people go through like a lot of depression. I'm not saying like you're not gonna go through depression when you ended up breaking up with someone, but some people bounce back fast, some people don't, and it's okay. It's okay when you feel like you're in this that funky mood, like funky for a long time, and you feel like nothing is moving on, like whatsoever. I realized, like I was just I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I do it like a lot. Sometimes I create scenario in my head, and those scenario, and I'll be like, what if yeah, obviously I don't have kids, but sometimes I do create scenario. I'm like, what I'm gonna do when my kids are actually like going through depression, and I'm like, okay, I can be supportive and all that, but what period I'm gonna give them that is actually healthy for them to actually get back? Will I actually wait for them for 5 years to get out of the depression mood? I'm like, no, I don't. Like I was trading that shit. Like I was trading. I'm like, nah, there's no way I can give them like more than 3 years to stay in that depression mode. There's no fucking way. They have to take some like I was just trading that. I was thinking of like changes and whatsoever, and the fact that when I have kids, what I'm gonna do with the fact that my kids are depressed, what I'm gonna, as much as I know that you can't take away other people's pain, because they need to realize I don't need to be in there. Because the thing is, when you're trying to rescue someone or take care of someone or trying to fix someone, you ended up prolonging your growth, your whatsoever. The only thing that they need is support. It's your support. How long they're gonna take for them to change, how long it's gonna do whatsoever, it's not up to you. You are not in control. It's up to them. It's up to them to want their willpower. It's up to them to ask for strength from their spiritual team. It's for them to do that. It's not you who's supposed to be doing. The only thing you're gonna give is support, but you just have to know that nah, I'm not gonna deal with this any long. Because some people can take advantage of the fact that you are supportive. They can take advantage. They wanna read uh constantly reminisce about the past. In the past I was this and this and that. In the past I was beautiful. In the past, you know, those people always reminisce about their past. In the past I used to, like, my husband abused me, and by that time it's more than like 20 years you broke up with that motherfucker, but you're still on that energy. Like, what the fuck? Oh. I'm not supposed to cursing, guys. I am not like like, honestly, it's disturbing. People constantly talk about the same shit that happened in 1990. It's 2022. I get it. It was painful. I get it. It was this and that. But the fact that you're not changing, you're not making changes to be better, like, you're fucking drained. So some people just live on people's sympathy. They want to people always feel sorry for them so that they won't have a fucking audacity to change their life. They just want to stay there. It's disgusting. Like, oh, bitch, just move on. I'm not saying like move on. Try to move forward. I know some pain sometimes. it would take you a lifetime to heal from. Because I realized they actually came across another spiritual like teacher was talking about the pain he experienced when he break up with her twin. It is actually a he when he broke up with with his twin flame. He mentioned the pain that like he felt like he will never recover from that. But even right now, he's still like not allowing himself to be in the relationship anymore because of the pain that he experienced with had like his twin flame. And like I was like, okay, I understand on all of that and what's all that, but at the same time I'm like, I'm not different. I am not different. Not only that, I realized like he is not staying. He's talking about it because now it's his strength. He's talking about it now just as a reference for someone probably who never like came across his content, and then you'll be like, oh, okay. He's not reminiscing. He's not reminiscing about it. He's not reminiscing about it. He's just talking about how painful the experience was, and he uses it as a reference to other people that you can go through it and it's gonna be painful because not all twin flame end up together. So I understand why he had to open up about this kind of shit. But he was like he's moving, like you can tell he's changing whatsoever. So he was not dwelling on the past because of it. He was not doing it because of sympathy. He need like to have that kind of experience to talk about, because sometimes your experience, it can be someone else medicine. Like you can be someone like, oh fuck, like your heart shit. Like I actually have someone I can actually have the same experience with. Oh fuck, that he went through so much, and they be like, okay, like I can get back to, because you now you realize, oh wow, they changed, they made those changes, they are better people now, like whatsoever. Because they also talk about the benefit that he had with his his twin flame. He talk about the fact that his spiritual journey, how meeting her made him to be a different person, because now he write books, he's a poetry. He was not tapped into his artistic nature. So he, like meeting her, his twin flame was the best thing that ever happened, even though it didn't ended up with a happy ending, because sometimes relationships are like that. They don't have to have a happy ending, but I don't believe in a happy ending either. I just believe in experience. Like a happy ending, nah. It's more like growing together. Like we're growing together, we allowing ourselves to be our authentic self, we love each other unconditionally, we allow ourselves to make those necessary changes to be better. So it's not like a happy ending, oh they leave happy ever and oh, what a fucking fantasy. So like we're both growing up, we're both going through some shit, like we are happy, but at the same time we do allow ourselves to experience the state. We're not gonna like always like, no, life is not like that. So it's gonna be like, hey, and sad and try, like we allow changes to be a phase rather than like holding on to that. How we when we like when it was relationship was new, it was love dovey. It's okay, like it's okay to feel the distance. Like it's happened. Like I used to think like healthy relationship won't have like a time whereby you don't even talk to your partner, and I was like, I would never like be in a relationship that is actually like. But I've realized like even healthy relationship go through that phase, because you are both breaking free from limiting beliefs. Sometimes the changes that come with it are too much. You don't like understand them. Sometimes you don't even understand yourself. Sometimes you need to distance yourself from your wife, husband, or your children. Like I came across people who talk about it, and it's like, oh, this shit happened to health of relationship. I'm like, wow, this shit happened. And like, yeah, it does. So yeah, changes are actually necessary, even if they're actually bad one. Because sometimes you just have to experience everything's a fucking phase. Experience that phase and know that everything's gonna be fine, because like the thing is, some changes will make you question God. Does God really exist? My ancestors have really got my back? Or like it will make you question your faith. It will make you like disconnect. It will make you want to shut down your gift. It will make you want to do things that you just know that actually face. But eventually when you shut down your artistic nature, you're gonna feel like shit. you're gonna be like, shit, like, oh fuck, like eventually you're gonna have to come back and be like, start slowly whatsoever, because sometimes it just be like, the life is like you're gonna go down, go up, go down, go up. Every time when I'm on the peak, like I'm feeling myself and shit just happened, I'll be like, oh fuck, like why didn't you just give me like signs? Because some like changes give you signs, some changes don't give you signs. Like you're gonna go through some shit now, you don't, you be like you be in your best like behavior, you be feeling yourself and shit, and then the next thing down, like wow, wow, I'm sick in here. But it's all for you, it's for all for your spiritual growth, it's all for that, because this is I'm laughing right now because this is how I felt. But now I'm just in a better place, guys. Like, yeah, I just hope you feel my energy. So yeah, so change is actually a good thing. Bad thing, they're necessary. Changes are fucking necessary. Bye.